Hello everyone. Yesterday and the days before we were looking at the judiciary, chapter 8 of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda, and I think we are done with chapter 8. We looked at the judiciary, the judges, the public, the Judicial Service Commission, how it's processes, how it's elected, how to take oath of the judges, the Supreme Court, High Court, Court of Appeal, the Chief Justice, the Principal Judges, the Deputy Chief Justice. So we are done with that all, and today we shall look at chapter 9, Finance. Nga bwe tubadde ennaku ez'emabega twalabye ku judiciary, ekitongole ky'ebyobulamuzi, ba Chief Justice, ba Deputy Chief Justice, kooti ez'enjawulo ez'amaanyi, the Supreme Court, tulaba ekitongole kye bayita Judicial Service Commission, nga bwe kirina okugoberera emitendera, nga bwe kirina okulaba emirimu bwe gitambula, nga bwe kirina okugoba oba okuappointinga ba judges. So byonna twabirabye mu chapter eweddeko ebadde chapter 8. So kati tugenda ku chapter 9, Finance, ebyensimbi. Okay, then article 152 tugenda tandikira ku emisolo, taxation. No tax shall be imposed except under the authority of an act of parliament. Teri musolo genda kuteekebwa ku bantu okujjako nga obuyinza buvuddewa mu parliament, mu kanaakani ka parliament oba parliament ng'ekikkiriza. Where a law enacted under clause 1 of this article covers powers on any person or authority to waive or vary a tax imposed by the law, that person or authority shall report to Parliament periodically on the exercise of those powers and shall be determined by law. Bw'obabaawo omuntu yenna nga bamuteekako omusolo nga tekiri under mateeka, ne bakukyajinga omusolo naye teguli mu mateeka, ate Parliament yaguyisa, osobola okuripootinga omusango mu Parliament abakugyeko omusolo, oba babeera muntu kinnoomu oba babeera kakiiko oba any authority nga bakugyeko omusolo nga tegukkirizibwa, osobola bawaabira mu Parliament. Parliament shall make laws to establish tax tribunals for the purpose of settling tax disputes. Parliament ejja teekawo amateeka gagenda okukola ki? Gagenda teekawo obukiiko obunaasolozanga emisolo. Obukiiko obwo bugenda kukolera under w'amateeka agaba gateerebbwako Parliament nga yo. Okay, Article 153, Consolidation Fund. I think Consolidation Fund nalina bagambako. Consolidation Fund eringa main bank account ya government. Bwe bateeka emisolo, bwe bateeka emisolo, bwe bateeka all the loans, So ate yo Consolidation Fund we wava buli kimu nga bwe tubadde tulaba emabega nti baba baagala kusasula emisaala gy'abakozi ba gavumenti, baba baagala kubawaza insurance, bagulirako amamotoka, kubawa amafuta, ebintu ng'ebyo byonna biva ku Consolidation Fund. Katulabe Consolidation Fund. There shall be a Consolidation Fund into which shall be paid all revenues or other monies raised or received for the purpose of or on behalf of in trust for the government. Wajabeerawo Consolidation Fund where emisolo gyonna oba emisolo egiba gikungaanyizibwa, sente zonna eziba ziraizingibwa zijja kubeera ate on the trust for the government. In trust for the government. The revenues or other monies referred to in clause 1 of this article shall not include revenues or other monies that are payable by or under an act of parliament into such other funds established for the specific purpose. Kugino emisolo egiba gikungaanyizibwa tewagenda beera mu misolo egiba bagikungaanyiza nga tegivaalinga n'emisolo Parliament gyebetaddewo, the purpose or that may under Act of Parliament be retained by the Department of Government that received them from the purpose of defraying the expense of the department. Yeah, sente zonna ezigenda ku consolidation fund zino beera nga ziva mu bantu oba ziva ku revenues according to the Act of Parliament nga bwe beegambye. Okay, withdraw from the consolidation fund. Katulabe baba bagenda kujjako akasente ku consolidation fund kigenda kwetaagisa ki. No money shall be withdrawn from the consolidation fund except tebagenda kujjako sente ku consolidation fund okujjako to meet expenditure charged on the fund by the Constitution or by an Act of Parliament. Okujjako nga balina kyebagezaako okuspendingako charged by the fund constitution according to the Constitution. Okujjako kyebagezaako fundinga nga Constitution oba nga Parliament nga yo. Where the issue of those monies has been authorized by where the issue of those monies have been authorized by an Act of Parliament, a supplementary appropriate act, or or as provided under clause 4 of this article. Okujjako nga sente ezo bazijjako nga Parliament ekkiriza, or as a supplement nga balina kyebakola supplementingako nga article ya Parliament bwe beegambye nti buli kimu tebalina okujjako nga kiri under wa Constitution oba kiri under wa mateeka. Okay. No monies shall be withdrawn from any public fund of Uganda other than the consolidation fund unless the issue of those monies have been authorized by the law. Kyonna kyeddiranganamu tewali sente zigenda kugibwawo consolidation fund other than okujjako ng'ezo sente zikkirizibwa mu mateeka. Kirabika bwe tebunagenda wansi bajja tugamba ani akkiriza okujjako ani atakkirizibwa okujjako. No monies shall be withdrawn from the consolidation fund unless the withdrawal has been approved by the Auditor General and in the manner prescribed by Parliament. Wali sente zigenda kukkirizibwa kuva ku consolidation fund nga teziri approved by the Auditor General of Uganda. Auditor General wa Uganda kati bamuyita Mr. Edward Akol. Mr. Edward Akol, the Auditor General currently. He replaced John F.S. Muwanga. I'm replacing Muwanga ya serving for like 20 years, over 20 years. Then never replacing kati tuina Mr. Edward Akol. So sente tezisa kuva ku consolidation fund okujjako with the approval of the Auditor General. Then now nezivaako. Okay, listen to this. If the President is satisfied that the Appropriation Act in respect of any financial year will not or has not come into operation by the beginning of that financial year, President bwaba takuse satisfied, bwaba takkiriziganya na Appropriate Act in respect ya financial year y'ogwo omwaka, guno omwaka tegukoze operation zaagwo nga gutandika tebibalansinze, the President may, subject to the provision of this article, authorize the issue of monies from the consolidation fund account for the purpose of meeting expenditure necessary to carry on the services of the government until the expiration of 4 months from the beginning of that financial year or the coming into operation of an Act of Parliament, whichever is the earlier. Financial year nga tenaba kutandika, President n'alaba nti waliwo ebitagasse, asobola ye alina amaanyi agenda n'ajjayo sente ku consolidation fund ng'ayagala agire amalirize byakola ki ebitawedde, ng'omwaka nga financial year tenassuka myezi 4. President akkirizibwa. Okay. Any sum issued in any financial year from the consolidation fund account under clause 4 of this article in respect of any service of the government shall not exceed the amount shown as required on account in respect of that service in the vote on account approval by Parliament by resolution for that financial year. Sente zigenda kubeera nga zigibwako nga financial year eyo tetunagituukamu, tezirina kusukka tezirina kusukka nga Parliament bweba prescribinze for that resolution of that financial year, and shall be set off against the amount provided in respect of that service in appropriation act for that financial year when the law comes into operation. Hey, zija kubeera inappropriate, according to the Appropriation Act of Parliament y'ogwo omwaka ogwa financial year tezirina kusukkamu as Parliament may prescribe. Okay. Article 155, Financial Year Estimates. Financial Year Estimates. The President shall cause to be prepared and laid before Parliament in each financial year, but in any case, not later than the 15th day before commencement of this financial year, estimates of revenues and expenditures of government for the next financial year. President yenga ye ajja kujja mu maaso ga Parliament buli mwaka, buli financial year, in any case, not less than 15 days the financial year yakatandika, oba before the commencement of the financial year commencement, yakatandika, right? Yeah. So President aba alina okujja anyonyole biki government byebadde ekola oba government sente spendings otya to the Parliament. Okay. The head of any self-accounting department, commission or organization set up under this constitution shall cause to be submitted to the President at least 2 months before the end of each financial year estimates of administration and development expenditure under the estimates of revenues of the respected departments, commission or organization of the following year. Constitution etugamba nti before 2 months, emyezi ebiri, buli kakiiko kikakwatako kalina okugendewa President nga emyezi ebiri nga financial year tenaggwako. Financial year kitegeeza omwaka government ngejja okulaga how much taxes we collected, over how much losses we made, over how much money we spent. So that is like the financial year. So like 12 months, so in 10th month omwezi gw'ekumi nga omwaka tegunaggwako, akatongole konna kikakatako kalina okujja wa President ne kamwanjulira that this is this and this is and this and this. Okay. The estimates prepared under clause 2 of this article shall be laid before Parliament by the President under clause 1 of this article without revision but with any recommendation that the government may have on them. Then we will byanjulira President ne President ajja genda byanjulire Parliament without a revision or recommendation that the government may have on them. Oba government nga si recommending blah blah and so on and so forth. Okay. At any time before Parliament considers the estimates, At any time before Parliament considers the estimates of revenues and expenditures laid before it by the authority of the President, an appropriate committee of Parliament may discuss and review the estimates and make appropriate recommendation to the Parliament. But banabyanjulira President n'akakiiko, I think obukiiko obuli under President n'akakiiko kali under Parliament mulina okumaking a research of the real estimation and they introduce it to the Parliament. Yeah. Notwithstanding the provision of clause 1 of this article, the President may cause to be prepared and laid before Parliament fiscal and monetary programs and plans for economic and social development covering periods exceeding 1 year. Fiscal and monetary programs ezeetaagizibwa sente oba ezeetaagizibwa okulabako oba plans oba socio-economic development ekyetaagisa every money zaffe sente zaffe ezibeera mu consolidation fund wezeetaaga okulaga President ajja kujja nga government ye baba bateesiza alyanjulire Parliament. Estimates of revenues and expenditure covering periods exceeding 1 year. Bw'obeera na estimations ng'olina by'oyagala okukola naye bisukka omwaka gumu nabyo osobola okujja n'okola ki n'obyanjulira Parliament ne babibala lumu. Parliament may make laws for giving effect to the provision of this article. Then your Parliament wemujanjulira buli kimu ejja kukolawo amateeka, agakola like effect, like what will come out after this. But what the center? Should we accept that? Should we expect this in this period of time and this period of time? Yeah, so that is what Parliament will consider. Okay, appropriation bill. Appropriation bill. The head of expenditure contained in the estimates other than expenditure charge on the consolidation fund by the Constitution or any act of Parliament shall be included in a bill to be known as an appropriation bill, which shall be introduced into Parliament to provide for the issue from the consolidation fund of the sums necessary to meet that expenditure and the appropriation of those sums for the purpose of the specified. So appropriation bill kitegeeza zino bill government zeeta ne submitting and neteka ku table ng'eyagala bagiwe sente to do such things, Enzo gamba kati leero twagala kukola nguudo, this is the thing. So ng'erequestinga sente okuva mu Parliament bagende, they do whatever they have planned to do. So the head of this expenditure bagenda kukola ki? Kukolera zo appropriation bill was submitting in Parliament. Then Parliament see how much it will give them, or how much they have requested, or how much they have planned. But how they will give them from the consolidation fund. If in respect of any financial year it is found that the amount appropriated for any purpose under the Appropriation Act insufficient, or that a need to arisen for expenditure for a purpose for which no amount has been appropriated by that act, or nti bwe basanga nti sente ze beetaaga okukola appropriation bill eyo oba okukola appropriation act is insufficient nga teziwera, oba a reason expenditure oba expenditure yeeyongedde, expenditure y'ebintu, or that any monies have been expended for any purposes in excess of the amount appropriated for that purpose for which no amount has been appropriated by that act, oba nga sente zikoze eki zeeyongeddemu, emibala bikoze ekimaze ne byeyongeramu. A supplementary estimation showing the sums required or spent shall be laid down before Parliament, and in the case of excess expenditure within 4 months after the money is spent. A supplementary, like okwongezaako supplementing, right? Supplementary estimations zijja kwongerwako ku sente ziri ze babagamba, oba all those monies zibulako oba ezeyongeddemu within 4 months, where in respect of any financial year supplementary estimate or supplementary estimates have been approved by Parliament in accordance with Clause 2 of this article, a supplementary appropriation bill shall be introduced into Parliament in the financial year next following that financial year to which the estimates related, providing for the appropriation of the sums so approved for the purposes specified in those estimations. So sente wezeyongeramu oba costs of buying materials or some things increases, oba nga bwe mwakibala tekijja, supplementary bill ejja kubeera ereyingibwa on the table of the Parliament, then Parliament ejja transferring in the next financial year balabe kiki kyebagenda okwongeramu. Okay, Article 157, contingencies funds. Okay. Parliament shall make provision for the establishment of contingency funds and shall make laws to regulate the operation of that fund. Contingency fund kitegeeza zino sente government zeteeka ebbali nga zo zirina obeerawo okuyamba in case of any emergency. Okiraba? Even the government can set money on the side for an emergency. Naye waliwo abamu abatasobola tereka kasente ku mabbali nga kano ka emergency oba Okay, Article 158. Officers, the remunerations of which in charge of the consolidation funds. Officers, the remunerations of which, okay, let's see. Where any salary or allowance of the holder of an office is charged on the consolidation fund, it shall not be altered to his or her disadvantage after he or she has been appointed to that office. Owakuteka mu office eyo, or if you have any holding office, nga we nabagambye abakozi ba gavumenti sente zonna ezibasasulwa zivaawa? Ziva mu misolo. Emisolo gye tutereka awo consolidation fund. So if you are an officer, or if you are holding any office, that money shall not be accounted under your disadvantage. Subject to the provision of this constitution, Parliament shall prescribe the offices, the salaries and allowances in respect of which are charged on the consolidation fund by the constitution. So Parliament yegenda okudetermining emisaala ya buli office yonna y'omukozi wa government, and prescribe laws which shall keep in the constitution. Power of government to borrow or lend. Power, amaanyi ga government okukola ki? Okuwola oba okwewola. Amaanyi ga government okuwola oba okwewola. I think tugenda tandikira awo kuba biwanvu. A power of the government to borrow or lend. Tugenda tandikira awo next time. See you so much. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.